Sometimes a fight can leave us with more questions than answers.
That is not what we want. Over the top rope.
This bout is a technical decision split draw.
Ben Shalom said it was his neck and his spine. He said it was his ankle. They should have both sat down in a room and gone, listen lads, what we're gonna say is it's my neck. And we'll stick to that story. But they've got the stories crossed, everything.
Is your career on the line in this fight?
No.
So if you lose, you're thinking, you know what, don't matter, my career's still on line.
For me, I think every fight my career's been on the line. Do you know what I mean? I can't say, oh, because of Liam Cameron #2, my career's on the line. Being the person I am, I'm the head honcho. Everybody wants to take me off the top. And like I said, because of what happened, a silly little night, it's opened up this door for him. He wants more, he's hungry, he's tasted it now. But I gotta take that food off the plate, man.
You said he turned up his best,
Yep.
and I turned up my worst.
And I still stand on that. And I got nothing against him at the end of the day. What he's done for his career, what he's had to fight, and what he's had to battle. Fair play to him, you know, he's gone through a lot. But he definitely turned up his best. I turned up my worst.
Why? Why did you turn up your worst?
There's a lot of things to it, really. There's a lot going on in the background, but I'm in a great place now. My mind's nice and clear.
I've been jumping around from, you know, all over the place with it because it is one of those fights that until that bell rings, we don't know.
You've been watching the soap opera unfold around the administrative error that boxers seem to have visited upon their fighter.
Yes, I obviously have, and I've had conversations.
You've seen this before?
Only today. Only today, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, whoever put the contract together has made a ricket. It's quite simple as that, and that's for them to sort out. I mean, I had a discussion this morning on my way here with regard to our actions, what we would do. I don't think we need to do anything at the present time unless it's the last minute, because this is a contractual issue, and therefore they should sort it out. I'm sure they will.
Ben Whittaker turns criticism into fuel as he fires back at doubters ahead of high-stakes Liam Cameron rematch.
Yeah, of course, man. Pulled him over, did a little backflip.
Did you push Ben over the top rope?
You know I didn't.
Was the injury real?
Yes, of course it was real. I got the doctor's notes, but we're here now.
You've been very vocal in saying you don't believe the injury was real and that you took the easy way out. Is that something you stick by?
100%. Once your gas tank's gone, it's gone. There's no getting it back.
What do you say to the fans and to Liam, who say you took the easy way out?
I say, you can all say what you want to say. You know what I mean? But when I win.
Ben Whittaker is gearing up for a highly anticipated rematch with Liam Cameron, set to take place this Sunday. Their first bout in October ended in unusual circumstances, leaving fans divided and creating a controversial narrative that has lingered ever since. That night in Riyadh, the two light heavyweights tumbled through the ropes in a dramatic fifth-round incident, leading to a technical draw. The unexpected end sparked questions, especially around Whittaker's decision not to continue, as many believed Cameron was beginning to take control of the fight.
Was that the Ben Whittaker that you expected?
No, I built him out to be this killer, this internet sensation, best world prospect. And on that day, it were easy. I'm shocked, of course, yeah.
In your mind, how would that have gone if there was no ankle injury?
It's all shoulda, woulda, coulda, really. We can't really say what could have and should have and would have happened. I still believe I would have won, but we can right that wrong on the Easter weekend.
Do you think you would have got him out of there had the fight continued?
Just by stamina alone, he wouldn't have got through it. When the fatigue sets in the amateurs, the fight's over. It's just beginning in the pros.
Ben, what was the injury?
I've already said, I've got the doctor's notes on what.
No, tell us what the injury is.
I don't need to tell you because it's been done.
What I've heard is Ben Shalom said it was his neck and his spine. He said it was his ankle. They should have both sat down in a room and gone, listen lads, what we're gonna say is it's my neck. and we'll stick to that story. But they've got the stories crossed, everything.
Whittaker has since opened up about the backlash and doubters he's faced. Admitting that not everyone accepted his side of the story, he remained firm that the incident was genuine and led to real injuries. According to him, Cameron landed on top of him during the fall, causing multiple injuries that left him needing to be taken out of the ring in a wheelchair. Though some questioned the extent of the damage, Whittaker described the toll with a touch of humor, likening his condition to having a full body cast and referencing Mike Tyson's famous spinal injury line. He claimed to have suffered a broken knee, a fractured shin, and even a chip in his neck.
Each time I will give you the question. You can answer it how you want, but then you're going to answer it to either infuriate the public because they've made up their mind, or you can say, you know, this is what happened. If you don't believe me, it's up to you. What was the injury?
Everything. Spinal, like Mike Tyson said. I came out the ring with a whole body cast on. I broke my knee, fractured my shin, little chip out my neck as well.
No, I'm asking you serious, but were you tired?
I was knackered.
I had a thought process. I thought it's in Saudi. It's on a big card. You wanna stand out. When you went in there, not probably. I think you underestimated him. I thought I'm gonna blast him out of here and put on the show. Am I wrong? Am I right?
Neither really. The main day is April the 20th. I'll turn up then and we'll show.
The skepticism that followed the fight didn't sit well with Whittaker, but he said he expected criticism because of the spotlight on him. Despite being labeled arrogant or even called Ben Whittaker by detractors, including Cameron himself, Whittaker insists his self-confidence comes from a deep-rooted drive that originates from humble beginnings in the Midlands. For him, success isn't just about personal glory, it's about changing his family's future and showing that hard work pays off, especially for someone coming from a place where little is handed to you.
You're not cut out for it. Luckily enough, I was cut out for it. People talk about me because I am that guy. People say a lot of things about me because I am that guy and I'm supposed to be that guy. So they're talking for a reason. So at the end of the day, they can talk, yeah, this, that. Like I said, when I win April the 20th and you bring that mic to me, I'm going to pass it back over to him and say, he had a lot to say before the fight. Let him talk again.
It's never an easy question to ask. Do you think he quit?
Yeah, man.
Do you know what? Do you know when, like, you're so tired? You're so tired. You just want out of there. You want out of that ring, and that's what he wanted out. He wanted out.
Whittaker.
Meanwhile, Cameron has a story of his own that's shaped his resilience. Having turned professional at 18, he missed out on a place in Team GB and has faced a long road filled with challenges. Now 16 years into his pro career, he sees this fight as a make or break opportunity. For Cameron, this rematch is about more than boxing. He's fighting to avoid going back to the struggles he's already overcome. He has openly said that the fight feels like life or death, underlining the stakes he sees for himself in this second meeting with Whittaker.
I went knackered. I didn't train hard enough. I underestimated him, but this time it's going to be better. You can't even get that out of him. It could change everything by just admitting his faults, because to be a better fighter, you've got to admit your faults.
What were your faults in the fight?
He knows them all. So
no, I'm asking you. He
knows them all.
You tell me what your faults were. What you said you performed at your worst. What was it? You didn't move, you didn't jab, you didn't listen, what was it?
Let the man, the technician, break it down. He's broke everything else down.
Like Freddie Roach on it at minute.
I know, he's going to get coach of the year as well.
Leading into the rematch, Cameron reflected on how things unfolded during their first bout. He believed Whittaker was starting to unravel and saw an opportunity to press forward. As he began to turn up the pressure with body shots, the two fighters became tangled and the strange fall occurred. Cameron noted several issues he had with Whittaker's approach, holding excessively, spitting out his gum shield, and seeming lost in the moment. In Cameron's view, Whittaker wanted out of the fight and was overwhelmed both physically and emotionally.
I won the fight, didn't I? I let the public judge it. I know in my head what happened. Don't want to be cocky, I'm not going to be like that now, but definitely won that, didn't I? I were getting to me, he were exhausted. I know I'm the man inside that ring, he were exhausted. He gave me his last hurrah, and I was telling him, you're dead, there's 5 more rounds left. And I was getting fitter and fitter. Do you know what it is? I ain't even sparred for 4 weeks. I did my nose in and it just started to heal, but I'm all right now. But
Adding fuel to the fire, the run-up to the rematch has been plagued by confusion over the number of rounds the bout will go. Initially, Cameron claimed to have signed a contract for a 12-round fight, which struck him as odd given that Whittaker faded after 5 rounds in their last clash. Cameron believed this distance favored him and was firm on keeping it that way. However, things shifted when promoter Boxer and the British Boxing Board of Control announced that the fight would officially be contested over 10 rounds instead. According to Boxer's Ben Shalom, this had been communicated to all parties and confirmed by the board, even if the final contracts hadn't been seen.
The latest is that Liam has a contract for 12 rounds, signed by the promoter and signed by him. So that's what he wants. That's what it is. Contracts. 2 people signed a contract, and the contract has clauses in it, and it has a list of obligations to both parties. And we are where we are.
Despite that public stance, Cameron insisted during fight week that he had not received an amended contract and still considered the bout a 12-round affair. He accused Boxer of attempting to change the agreed terms without proper documentation. For Cameron, entering fight week without knowing the fight's length was unprofessional and unfair to both him and Whittaker. This contract saga only added more tension to a fight already charged with emotion.
there's a mess about what contracts, what no one's letting me speak about, so I'm going to try on here. We've signed for a 12-round fight, and they're trying to push it for a 10-rounder, doing everything they can, and I'm not budging. I'm having a 12-round fight, and this is what I tried to do it on. Gloves are off. They won't let me speak about it, and on Sky Sports, they didn't air my interview. This is the problem we're having, is that I've signed a 12-round contract fight. When I was signing contract, I thought, it couldn't barely get through 5 rounds. This was weird. So like a couple of weeks went by, and like, they tried to send another contract for a 10-rounder. So that shows me the confidence levels. I'm ready for 15 rounds.
Whittaker, still undefeated with 8 wins and 1 draw, has much to prove. Having only turned pro in 2022, he hasn't fought past 10 rounds before, unlike Cameron, who has gone the full 12 on 4 occasions in his career. Cameron, with a record of 23 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw, brings far more experience and has shown he can endure longer fights. That contrast in experience and conditioning could be a crucial factor, especially if the rematch stretches into the later round.
So you want 12 rounds, and Ben Shalom and Whittaker want 10, is that right?
Well, it's signed for 12 rounds. There's been a mistake there, where now they've thought they've sent me a 10-round contract on my knowing, and really it's a 12-rounder. So when I was signing it, I thought, 12 round, that suits us, that they must be mad.
The build up to Sunday's clash has been intense and personal. On the psychological front, Cameron has remained vocal and confident. He even predicted pain for Whittaker and warned fans to expect a war. To him, this fight could be the defining moment of his career. Meanwhile, Whittaker continues to play with the criticism he's faced. Rather than denying accusations of quitting, he's flipped the narrative, even calling himself Ben Whittaker in a tongue-in-cheek way, showing he's not afraid to embrace the role of the controversial figure.
I've had rematches in the amateur game, and for me this is just another rematch. I'm not really emotionally attached to this as he is. I think it's done more for him than it has for me. You know, he's doing his little podcast now, he's got a new hairline, got some followers. But for me, it's just another fight, I'll win it, and after that we'll move on.
But the deeper motivation for Whittaker seems clear. He wants to prove that he's more than just a flashy fighter. He wants to show he has the grit and toughness needed to succeed at the top level. That's something some like Tony Bellew have questioned. Bellew gave his take on the rematch, stating that Whittaker was far more skilled than Cameron, but may not have the same heart. According to Bellew, Cameron is very limited but has remarkable bravery, calling him a fighter with King Kong-sized courage.
I think if you're matching them up with skill set, it's not close at all. But then I think he underestimated him. I think Ben Whittaker's a brilliant fighter, by the way, and I think Liam Cameron is one ballsy kid. He's got bollocks, mate, the size of King Kong's. He really has. He's game, very limited, but very, very game, and shows you how far heart can get you.
Bellew also pointed out a perceived weakness in Whittaker's style. He suggested that Whittaker fights hard for short bursts in each round, and then spends the rest of the time coasting or showboating. For Bellew, that kind of rhythm works until someone with the toughness and drive of Cameron refuses to go away. He believes Whittaker has the tools to win, but only if he's willing to endure discomfort and stay focused throughout every round.
For all the skills that Ben Whittaker has, it just... it looked to me from the outside looking in once again, kind of like the Andy Ruiz Anthony Joshua first fight, where he gets this fright and the shock of his life because he's still there after 5 or 6 rounds and he's like, what is going on? And as fighters, we know that, you know, when you underestimate someone and you're in the ring with them and then they start turning the screw on you and they start turning the corner, you're like, what's going on? And your mindset can't change. You're like, what is going on here? What am I doing? How is he even still here? It's not, you have to go for the next fight like AJ did against Ruiz. You can't reset your mindset in the middle of a fight. So if you're underestimating once, you aren't changing that mindset during the fight, you're gonna have to go to the next fight, and I do think he'll right that wrong in the next fight. I really do. But
all these elements, the disputed outcome of the first fight, the questions around Whittaker's toughness, Cameron's sheer determination, and the confusion over how many rounds the fight will actually be, have made this rematch one of the most talked about domestic bouts in British boxing this year. The venue, Birmingham's Resorts World Arena, is expected to be electric as fans wait to see whether Whittaker can silence his critics, or if Cameron can pull off a defining upset.
He's got to be ready to go through hell, Carl, and that's the thing with Ben Whittaker. I think his talent is so high and so good. I'm just not sure he's cut out and made to be ready to go all out for 3 minutes of every round. I think he's a fighter who fights really well for 1 minute, 1.5 minutes a round, and then he likes to look good for the other minute and a half. If someone can put it on him and sustain and absorb what he's got, which is a lot, then I think in the second half of fights, in the second half of even rounds, he's switching off and he's losing them. So it spells for danger in the Cameron fight, but I'm going to go Ben Whittaker.
There's more on the line than just pride or bragging rights. For Cameron, it's a chance to finally reach the level of recognition that's eluded him for most of his career. For Whittaker, it's a moment to reclaim his narrative, show his growth, and reaffirm the hype that's followed him since his Olympic days. In the end, while the outcome remains to be seen, what's certain is that both fighters are entering the ring with something to prove and everything to lose. So what do you think about this fight? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.